Hello everyone and welcome to Snapshot 23W04A, which I've labelled as a 1.20 snapshot. Can you tell why? It's because we've got features from the next update of Minecraft, and it's once again about expressing yourself. This snapshot is all about adding armor trims, and you can see a few examples of them right here. In total, there is 616 combinations you can make, and even more with commands. And technically, you are looking at every single one of those combinations right now. This is a very interesting snapshot. Mojang are adding a ton of customization to the game. So where do we get started with this? There is a lot to explain. I think the smithing table is the point to focus on, as it's received an overhaul. It now has a new interface for upgrading your gear, and there are three components to this: the smithing template, a piece of armor, and then a material that gives it a color. So if I go ahead and drop this into the first slot, you'll see that the icons update and hint that we can put armor into the second slot and a material of some sorts into the third. Once we've done all of that, the trim gets added to the icon here, and you get a preview on the side of what the change is going to look like. So there are 12 different types of template. 11 of them are used for changing the appearance of armor. These are referred to as armor trim, and then there is another category for upgrade. And the odd one out here is Netherite. It's the only one for the upgrade category, and once again use it inside of the smithing table, so there's still a way to upgrade your diamond armor. This time though, you need to use a template, and you'll see here that you can't put a different type of material in. You can only upgrade diamond to Netherite like before, and when you do this, your template gets consumed as well as the other materials. Now the question on your mind is probably, well, how do I get my hand on templates? And we will get to that, but first of all I want to show you that you can clone a template. If we go into here and type smith, you'll see that all of the different smithing templates pop up. If we have a look at Netherite, you can see the recipe right here. So in order to clone one of these, you not only need one already, but then you need a block that corresponds with the template and 7 diamonds, and yes, that makes your Netherite upgrades even more expensive. This is the same for the other templates too. They all have a corresponding material for duplicating the template. And so over here you can see the names of each of them: Spire, Tide, Dune, Snout, Coast, Wild, Eye, Sentry, Rib, Vex and Ward. And obviously all of their corresponding materials are there. And before we have a look at the full set of patterns that each one gives us, let's talk about the Netherite for a second. If any of you can do the math, it's now way more expensive to upgrade your gear, and Mojang have shared their reasoning for this change. So these reasons include increasing the time players utilize diamond equipment before moving on to Netherite, to make that Netherite more of a significant achievement in the game's progression, and it'll adapt the material more naturally into the new smithing table crafting system. So where does one find this smithing template? It is in the Bastion Remnants. If you find a treasure room, there will be at least 2 chests inside of there, both containing one of these templates each. So yeah, Netherite equipment just got a whole lot harder to obtain. Let me know what you think of that with a comment down below. While you're down there, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and you want to stay informed with all of these 1.20 snapshots. I will be covering them on this channel. Now what about all the other templates? This one here is called Snout, and it's also found in the Bastion Remnants. Any chest you open here has a 4.8% chance of having one of these. Another found in the Nether Dimension is the Rib template. This also has a 4.8% chance of being inside of a chest found in a Nether Fortress. As I look into these one by one, I realise that the chances for all of them being found in a chest are always 4.8%. This one is Spire, and it's found in the End City. The Sentry template is found at the Pillager Outpost. In a shipwreck you can find the Coast template. The aptly named Dune template is found in a desert pyramid. Wild is found in the Jungle Temple. And you know, there's only 2 chests to be found here. You'd have to visit like 10 of these or more to get your hands on one. I think some of these rates could do with adjusting, and remember it's a snapshot, so things are subject to change. Ward, clearly short for Warden, is found in the Ancient City. The Eye template can be found in a Stronghold, and the Vex template is found in the Woodland Mansion. And the very last place on our list is an Ocean Monument, where you can get the Tide template. What's different here is that you get it from the Elder Guardian, and you have a 20% chance of getting one from these, and there's 3 in each Ocean Monument, and also this chance of getting a template doesn't affect that they drop wet sponges. So now that we know where to get all of these templates, let's have a look at the patterns that they create. Each one of these has a unique design for all 4 pieces of armor. We've got Spire, Tide, Dune, Snout, and as you can see, they put their own distinctive patterns, pixel patterns, onto each of the types of armor. Now, not only is this on the front, it's also on the sides of the armor and on the back too. There tends to be less detail in total on the back though. So now you're probably thinking, what about the colors? Those are done with materials. And there are 10 different types that you can use, and here they are in this chest. And you probably noticed that each of them has a color that kind of corresponds with the ones that you've seen up the top here. So we have emerald, lapis, redstone, quartz, copper, diamond, netherite, gold, iron, amethyst, and copper again. Not only does it work on these 5 types of armor, it also works on the turtle helmet too, as you would have seen in the intro. But leather has been left out of the equation. You can't do this on leather armor, and that's most likely because it already has its dye system where you can change the color using dyes. Now, not only do the armor themselves change, but so do the icons. You can see here they get modified too, and when you hover over them, there are 2 details: the type of material and which template was used to add a pattern. What should be noted here though is that when you change the template, the visual of the armor changes but not the icon. There's essentially just one pattern on the icon for each and every template. The color does change though. If I swap out the material, you can see the color on the icon does change. You can also take existing armor that's already got a trim and simply redefine it, but remember, this will consume your template. And there is one other exception here. You can't use the same material on the same type of armor. You can put it in there, but it won't let you add it. So with 10 materials, 11 templates, certain materials that you can't put onto themselves, you can now understand how we got those numbers in the beginning. There are 616 different combinations. Now, it's gone unsaid, but it should be obvious this is entirely visual. There are no gameplay benefits to changing anything other than maybe, visibility to other players in PvP environments. Apart from visuals, there are no coded in gameplay benefits. And you might notice that down here, these items are enchanted. I have equipped these because the enchanted glint has slightly been reduced. I think that's true for both the icons and the armor when a player is wearing it. Now, this whole system has been built with customization in mind, not just customization through the regular vanilla gameplay. If you visit the website, you're going to find a ton of technical details explaining the ins and outs of how this system works. If you want to get into data packs and resource packs, this stuff is customizable, and they've shared lots of information on how all of it works. The Minecraft devs have also been rather active explaining how this stuff works over on Twitter, so if you're interested in learning and you want to get involved, there's some useful information there too. Now, what I want to show you next is a preview of the Sniffer Mob. Mojang released this footage, and I'd already covered it on my channel with a short, but I wanted to include it here again as it's going to be a part of this 1.20 update. It is the Sniffer Mob that won the recent mob vote, and we are seeing footage of it here in Bedrock Edition. Now, there's not much more I can tell you than what you're seeing because this was all that was shown. The ancient seeds or any of the other details about this mob, the new plants, none of that stuff was shared with us. So all we got to see was the mob and take in its aesthetic value, and a lot of people were commenting on the amount of pixels that this giant mob has. It actually follows the same pixel ratio to size as creatures like the Strider do, for example. And there really isn't much else to say. That video was simply it. So this is where we wrap this one up. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Thanks as always, and I'll see you soon with another. Bye bye.